Hey, and welcome back to part two of our equity evaluation series. If you were here with us the last time, we covered what goes into our pricing guide, our equity evaluation, and we kind of walked through those details of what each page looked like for you. If you didn't catch it and you want to, go ahead and reply to this email, and Leah can go ahead and send you that video so you can get caught up. But we're going to jump right into things as promised. So, just to kind of wrap up for where we started, we were on my favorite page, that final page that gives you the ranges for um and the ranges really help you to be able to walk into a home that you've never seen before and to be able to give an accurate pricing analysis. So what I always tell the clients are, hey, there's the low range, which is like, hey, if this house really needed some love, it was kind of needing more updates than not. The mid range is, hey, we're pretty average at this point, right? We're a pretty average home, pretty average in line with some of the most of the comps. And then the high end range is like, hey, at this point we look better than the comparables, or we really are, have the tip top updates in this home. So then what you do is I kind of walk in with a number in mind already of, hey, what I think the home is going to look like based on the description the clients gave me on the phone as we walked through updates, as we walked through what the home looks like. And then I've also got, a high end number in case that this house just blows me away because they've done everything they needed to get it staged. And then the low end range. So I've got my numbers in mind when we walk through. The other thing too is the reason why I love this range portion of it is because it also allows you to say if this then that, right? So, hey, if you want this price, like top tiered pricing, then Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we're gonna have to do some things like paint, or we're gonna have to do some things like stage, right? But hey, if you want to sell it as is, which I get, sometimes it's more convenient, this is the price I'd go with, right? Having shown them all the comps, that helps them understand that, yep, if we do want that top dollar amount, we'll have to do all the staging recommendations that the agent gives. So that is why I love this page because it really does just allow you to go in with without having never seen the home. Now, jumping to the next page too is then we know we do share a net sheet. And when you do share the net sheet, we go off of the range. So ultimately the range is going to allow us to kind of show them net numbers. Okay, well, if you do all my staging recommendations and you do X, well, we'll be in this higher end range. Hey, if we sell just as this is the range we're going to be in, and this is going to be the net proceeds you get from the transaction once we estimated, realtor commissions, title fees, all the fees that you can think of. The only ones we typically don't put in are taxes just because they're prorated. And of course, seller paid closing costs because you don't really know what those are going to be yet. But everything else we can estimate. So that really then empowers your seller to then be able to make the decisions. Most of the time, they're looking for top dollar and they're willing to do all the little recommendations. So it also helps encourage them to, get the home more show ready for you. Okay, now jumping into the actual, how do we make that whole equity evaluation on the PDFs print that way or look that way? It all starts with an Excel sheet. So we're not recreating the wheel every time. We've got formulas built into this. Kudos to Kirby and Christina who put this together years ago. But ultimately, we'll go to the county website. Once the agent selects the 5 to 7 comps, our virtual assistant team will go ahead and pull the data from online, the MLS, county websites and plug that data into here for each of those comps. And then every single page that we had talked over with like the total finished square footage calculation, it's pulling that data from that first page for you. So you don't have to go into every page and plug it in. And then the fun part is you can manipulate it as an agent if you wanted to. So let's let's say the square footage was wrong here or something like that. I could easily fix it on this page by just typing in the number I want. You'll see that the numbers here adjust to it. So that's one thing. The other thing that you can also do is on your ranges, if you want a more whole number here, so based on comps and square footage, if I was like, okay, my number here at this point is going to be 350, right? Let's just round up to 350. I could plug that number in, and then that will help round out my numbers for me too, to just make it a little easy, make it a little cleaner looking. And then, of course, the last portion is your net sheet. The net sheet's built in, and it'll automatically if you decided to put whatever commission you want in here, let's just pretend we'll create 8 for the listing side and 8 for the buyer broker side, just give you numbers. It would plug those numbers and do the math for you. And then if you had to add any other numbers, but we always like to give that high range, that high mid range, that mid low range, that low range again to help empower your sellers to understand, like, okay, if I sold my home as is, or if I was willing to do the staging recommendations that my agent had, I could get this higher number. So it really just empowers them to decide kind of what work they want to put into getting their home sold. So that's really all I have for you today. And if you are curious to learn more, our team consistently does trainings on, how to convert listings, how to convert your buyer's sides on Thursdays. Reply to Leah's email. We can always get you invited to those if you're curious to learn more. Thanks.